This week, I've decided to make my life difficult. Hi, my name is Nish, and most evenings you either find me reading or training for triathlons. Let's go see what I'm up to this week. Hello, happy Monday, and welcome to another vlog. So, this week, instead of filming just over the weekend, I'm actually going to film a little bits here and there all throughout the week from Monday all the way to Saturday. And the reason being, I'm challenging myself to read 1,000 pages during the week while training, while working, and while doing all the other life related stuff. Am I confident I can do this? No, not really, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So, on to the books that I'm trying to read for this vlog. The first one is 1984 by George Orwell. I'm actually buddy reading this with a friend of mine. We usually meet on Wednesdays to discuss that week's reading. And this is going to be the last week for this book. So we are on part 3, and that's what we'll be discussing on Wednesday. So I really need to finish reading this by Wednesday. So the next one is A Teller of Small Fortunes. This was the book I was reading in my last vlog, and I'll continue reading this in this week as well. This is a cozy fantasy book. The last book is the one that I'm most excited about, and the reason why I'm doing this vlog, to be honest, is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is a duology, and this is the first book in the duology. So this is a fantasy heist story in which we follow a group of 6 outcasts, each with their own unique skills, abilities, and also a troubled past. They're recruited for an impossible heist, which, if they carry out successfully, promises them freedom and fortune. This is a high stakes, action packed kind of novel. So there's going to be like a lot of action in this book. That's it. Those are the 3 books that I will be reading in this vlog. Today, I have a lot. Oh, let's talk about my training load for this week. So this week, my training load is 8 hours and 26 minutes throughout the week. And today I have a 2,000-yard swim. Then I have a 25-minute run. And then I have a strength training session as well. So this is going to be a long day. Although they're like tiny little sessions, I think it's all going to add up. And I'm probably going to end up being really tired in the evening. But I do plan on cooking and then making a cake. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I am. That's the plan for today. So now I need to go to the gym. I'm not sure if I'm going to film there. I don't know how I'm feeling right now. I'm not going to force myself, but I will come in and give a reading update at some point later. All right, so it's later in the day. I am done with my dinner and I'm actually in the middle of baking a cake right now. I think I'm going to sit and read Six of Crows now. I've been super excited about this book. So that's it. I'm going to go check on my cake. And if it comes out to be fine, I will show it to you. Hopefully it won't be a disaster. That's the cake.
Yum.
Okay, try it and tell me if you like it, okay?
Okay.
All right, so yesterday was a success. I managed to finish all my 3 sessions and I also baked a cake and I also ended up reading for a little bit. So all in all, it was a very productive but tiring day for me. The cake didn't really come out very it didn't come out very cleanly out of the pan, but it tasted good, so I'm gonna count that as a win. So I did end up reading like 36 pages, which is 2 chapters of The Six of Crow. I also found it on Kindle Unlimited. I did not want to put the book down, but I was like really tired and I had to go to bed at a decent time so I could wake up for work. So I was forced by myself. I was forced to put the book down. But nevertheless, that was yesterday. Today I have a 15-minute bike ride and then I have a 30 or 35-minute run. I gotta check. I'm actually dressed for my bike ride right now. And then it is Tuesday, so we will be going out for tacos. But I just really hope it's like close by and the service is quick so I can come home and read. Not that I don't want to spend time with people, but I just want to, yeah, if you're a reader, you get it. Anyway, I am gonna get on my bike and finish my ride. All right, I just want to do a quick reading update. I'm like 71 pages into Six of Crows. So, first of all, reading this book, I kind of forgot that it's a young adult. Generally, I don't gravitate towards young adult for a few reasons. I guess the main one being because it's for a younger audience. More often than not, the characters are also younger, and the way the characters are written and the things they do, I don't really connect or relate to it anymore, and that's why I lose interest and I don't really feel like reading young adult fiction. Secondly, since it is written for a specific population or specific audience, it's written in a certain way, and basically not the kind of writing I enjoy. But this book, so far it's reading pretty well. Also, our main character Kaz, he's 17 years old. Like, initially there's this like description about what he does, who he is. When you read through all of that, it'll never occur to you that this might be a younger person. It sounds like an older gentleman, but at some point they mention that he's 17 years of age and he joined this gang which pretty much he runs right now at the age of 12, which is freaking wild. So anyway, I'm gonna try my best to forget that he's 17 because leaving that fact out, this story is very entertaining. And now, 70 pages in, we finally figured out what the heist is about. The chapter they disclose that it's about stealing a person. So that's wild. And Kaz is crazy. He is a wild, crazy person. There is nothing in there that'll really make you like him, but I'm pretty sure there is some backstory to him. He has mentioned this person, Jory, a few times right now throughout the first few chapters. And in the last chapter I read, it is disclosed that he is or was, we don't know where the brother is right now, but it's just disclosed that it's his older brother. We don't know what happened, so definitely there is like a strong backstory coming in there, and maybe that'll explain why Kaz is the way he is at such a young age. Anyway, that's my reading update. I will check in with you guys later. Okay, so I'm reading 1984 right now, and I thought I'd give a real quick synopsis on what this book is about. So, 1984 by George Orwell is a dystopian novel. This is set in a totalitarian society where the government, or Big Brother as they're called in this book, is someone who has extreme control over its population. Every move that people make, whether it be in their homes or outside, is being watched by the government. Like in their homes, there are these big screens that people cannot turn off, and that's the way that the government keeps an eye on its population. So that's what this book is about. The pacing of this book, the first part is pretty steady. It kind of tells you what the society is about and what kind of rules are laid upon its citizens. The middle of this book, I actually personally didn't enjoy too much, and now in the last part, the pacing just took off. Like it went from like 0 to 100 real quick. So it's been quite a ride, quite a journey reading this book, and I still don't know how I feel about it. I like it, but it's definitely not like a 5-star book for me. But yeah, also, I did not know until I started reading this book that the term Big Brother actually originates from this book. That is 1984 for you. Okay, so it's Wednesday. I'm at the gym right now. I have a 30-minute run followed by an upper body strength training session. Last night, I think I did a check-in on Six of Crows, and I was at page number 71. I did not read any further after that, at least not from that book. I ended up reading a little more of 1984. I haven't finished reading 1984 yet, but I think I have enough time after my workouts to sit and finish reading right in time for the discussion. Also, one quick note, I think I forgot to mention this for the sake of this challenge and to make it a little more challenging. I decided to read exclusively physical copies, so either it's going to be a physical book or a Kindle edition. So yeah, I just wanted to put that little note in there. It matters because I can get a decent amount of reading done through audiobooks when I'm training, but however, this week to finish reading those 1,000 pages, I need to read from physical copies. So yeah, that's it. I just thought of doing a little check-in before I proceed with my evening. also finished reading 1984 right in time for my call with my friend, which is going to start in the next couple minutes. So I'm going to go talk to him. I think I'm going to prep my dinner while I have that call with my friend. And then after dinner, I will continue reading Six of Crows. I'm on page 92. I have read 175 pages and we are in the middle of the week right now. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, 175 out of 1,000 doesn't really sound promising, doesn't really sound like I'm going to reach my 1,000 mark goal, but I'm going to keep trying. Usually the first half of the week is busier than the second half for me anyway, so I tend to get a lot more reading done in the second half of the week. So I'm really hoping I'll get enough time on Thursday, Friday, Saturday to attain my goal. So that's that. I think I mentioned I finished reading 1984 and right now I'm just focused on Six of Crows. So I've read around 115 pages, and what I like about this book so far is each chapter is from the perspective of one of the members of the gang, which is kind of nice because it gives us enough time with the characters to understand them, to understand their backstories and what they bring to the table. So right now, each chapter has just been like an introduction to like member 1, member 2, member 3. And then the mission is to steal a person or to kidnap a person. And the reason this person is so valuable is because he's a scientist who discovered a drug. I forget the name of the drug, but anyway, this drug is so powerful that if it's consumed by a Grisha, which is also it's a person who has magical powers, their magical powers will be enhanced to an extreme level if they consume this drug. The fear is if this knowledge gets out in the world, if this drug gets out in the world, it will be used to create Grisha soldiers who will be invincible and undefeatable, and that might cause a war and destruction in the world. We are still meeting all the members of the group. I like the time given to each character in this book. I know I keep mentioning this, but these are all teenagers and it's crazy. Like, I try my best to forget that fact about these characters, because if you leave that fact out, they sound like much older people. So anyway, I know I will stop talking about that after this clip, but that's where I am at. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Good night. All right, I'm done with work, and today I have a 40 or 45-minute run, but that's about it. I don't have anything else to do after that. I don't have any chores. Well, that's a lie. I do have to fold my laundry, but other than that, I don't have anything else to do. So I guess that leaves me with a bunch of time to read today. I am going to read right now for an hour, maybe 2, I'm not sure. But at some point, I'll take a break from reading and then I'll go for my run. And then I'll come back and continue reading. I'm gonna go for my run. I'm honestly not in a mood to run today. Not at all. I just want to stay at home and read or just watch TV or something. But here I am. I have to go out for my run. It's okay. It's just 40 minutes. I think I can power through and I can get this done. If I sit down now, game over. So I'm just gonna head out. So far, I have learned a little more about 2 of the people's past out of the 6. So there are 2 women and 4 men in this group of 6, right? 2 and 4, yeah, okay. And so far, I have learned a decent amount about the women's past, and it's so dark. And they are merely like, I think 16 and 15 or something like that. And is this really YA? I need to check, like, because when I picked this book up at Barnes & Noble, like the physical copy, I picked it up from the young adult section. But when I'm reading this, I'm like, is this really young adult? Like, is this what young adult read? I'm not sure. Maybe I haven't read enough and I don't know what comprises of or what makes a book young adult. I think I'm just questioning everything right now. But I am hooked. I'm very invested in this book. It's very interesting. I am on page 192 and I just want to keep reading. So it has got my attention. That's for sure. I haven't found myself being very bored or I haven't found myself wanting to skip a page or two. So that's good. But I'm just like questioning everything right now because if this is YA, I mean, if the characters are so young, it's bound to be YA, right? Yes, Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo is considered young adult fantasy, but it leans towards upper YA crossover category. All right, that makes sense. So it's YA, but it's all okay. That makes sense. All right, I am I'm okay now. I'm okay. Okay, so for the most part, we do not really have great lighting in the house for reading. It's not an issue during the day because we do get a lot of natural light, especially in the living room area. So reading during the day is not a problem. But reading in the evening, I mean, it's okay. I can read in that light, but when you read for extended period of time, you do want to have decent source of light. And so I bought a floor lamp, like a floor reading lamp, and I'm hoping to put it here, right besides the my reading area or whatever. So I'm gonna put that together. Hopefully it's not too complicated and I can do it by myself. And then I'm gonna see if it works. Also, this wall is like pretty blank. We do have a little plant up there which is growing down, so I'm hoping like the leaves will grow down and it'll look a little nicer. But I do want to put some artwork on this side of the wall at some point. I think I like it. So I'm like 264 pages into the book. I'm actually reading from my physical copy right now, but I'm using it as a stand for my camera. So anyway, but last night when I was reading from my Kindle, there's something that stood out to me. I've kind of found it interesting, and I'll tell you in a minute why. So I highlighted it, and it goes like, do you know our gods? Some, she said, but do you know Zhao? This is actually how it's written. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. The well springs. The Feardans believe all the world is connected through its waters, the sea, the ice, the rivers and streams, the rain and storms. All feed Gel and are fed by him. The reason it stood out to me is because jal is a word in Hindi for water. We also call water pani in Hindi, but pani and jal. But here it kind of sounds similar to the word that they're using in the book. So I think they maybe this word was inspired from Hindi or rather from Sanskrit, which is the root language from where the word jal is derived. But yeah, it's just some little something that was like, oh, this word sounds very familiar. And so I thought I'd share that with you guys because I found it a little interesting. But anyway, it's Friday. I'm still reading. I'm going to keep reading for a little bit before I go to the gym. Let's see what my workout, my training for today is. Damn. So I have a 2,500 yard swim. This is the longest swim so far this season for me, or this will be. And then I have a 30-minute total body and mobility session. I am actually not mentally prepped to go swim right now. I do want to swim today. I am looking forward to it. But right now, I am still in the reading zone. I still want to sit and read for a little bit before I can go and swim. My plan ideally would be to like come home and finish reading this book so I can start another one tomorrow and try to like keep working towards my 1,000 page mark. But we'll see how the evening unfolds. We just found out something about one of the characters that I was not expecting. Not at all. We're going to the movies. Alright, so we have a lot of time before our movie, so we decided to like play some games at the arcade, and that's what we're gonna do now. Okay, so it is Sunday. I did not do any check-in yesterday, so I apologize for that. But I had a very busy day and I was in and out the whole day. And every chance I got, I just sat down and I read. I know I originally said that I wanted to finish this challenge by Saturday, but I constantly fail to take into consideration how busy a week can get over time, and that's exactly what happened this week as well. I knew that reading 1,000 pages in a week was going to be challenging, but not as challenging. I did not expect it to be this challenging. Anyway, so I decided to extend it to another day and make it officially an entire week. So Monday through Sunday, which would be like 7 days. So far, I think I've read like 500 and something pages. I'm pretty sure I cannot read 1,000 pages, like another 500 pages today. I do have some other things to do as well, but I'm going to try my best to get close to the number. And any like I mean, 500 pages is a lot for me, to be honest, to read in a week. So anything I read today is going to be a bonus, in my opinion. So those are the stats. But now onto the book, Six of Crows. I finished reading this book and it is fantastic. I understand the hype around this book. I understand why people on all sorts of social media were talking and raving about this book. More often than not, when I pick up a book because of its popularity on social media, I'm left disappointed, but not this time. This was worth the hype, and I understand why people love this book so much. So, the main plot, as we know, is the heist, and there are six gang members. So, there are six characters that we are following in this book. And I loved how the author was able to keep the heist as the center of the story the whole entire time while developing the characters in the background and their romance stories, which was crazy. So, initially, of course, you're introduced to these characters and you know something about them, but there's a piece of their past, so there's a lot that you don't know, because, and I like that, because in real life also, when you meet a person, you're not going to know their entire life story in just one day, and that's exactly what happens in this book. So over time, while we are focused on the heist and how that's being carried out, we're learning a lot more about these characters in the background. It helps you form a connection with each one of these characters, and also the romance is done so well. Like, I personally wouldn't consider it to be slow paced. I think it's perfectly paced. Like, it was done so beautifully that yes, you find yourself rooting for these characters and their love stories, but at the same time, it does not take away from the heist and from the actual plot of the book. Like, you find yourself enjoying the romance between characters, but at the same time, you do not find yourself wanting more of that and less of the heist. You know what I mean? And I think this has been the best book I have read so far this year, because I've had a lot of disappointments, and this one I think is a 5 out of 5 star for me. It's the best book I've read so far this year, and I am so psyched to read the next book. Also, one more thing, the humor in this book, it hits you, like it comes out of nowhere. I love how humorous some of the conversations are. The banter is so amazing between characters. So that's about Six of Crows. I am so happy right now because I just finished reading it and I'm still on a high from finishing this book. And the twists and turns, I don't know if I talked about them. They just keep coming. They just keep coming. Like, just when you think you found everything out, nothing can go wrong, nothing else can happen that you haven't expected, something happens, which is crazy, and that's why you feel like you want to keep reading. Since it's a duology, there's another book to read, and I am going to start reading this right now. If you guys like heist and if you guys like fantasy, I think it's worth picking up Six of Crows. It's not super it's not really hard to follow. The story is pretty straightforward and it's not very hard to follow. Some of the things, some of the magical powers and everything, you might take a minute to understand what they are, but otherwise, the world building, it's not hard to follow, honestly. Yeah, that's it. I think I've blabbered enough. I have loved this book, so I'm gonna start reading the next one. That's my bike computer. So we bought this little ladder to put behind the chair. I think it goes really well with the lamp. I think this works pretty well. Don't you think so? Oh. All right, so I didn't hit the 1,000 pages this week, but I did read 722, and honestly, I am proud of that. Progress doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful, so here's your reminder to celebrate the small wins. What's a win that you had this week that you are proud of, no matter how small? Let me know down in the comments. Anyway, thank you so much for sticking until the end, and I'll see you next time. Bye!